Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David, talking about the do's and the don'ts of the financial markets with my good friend and my good pal, Mr. Al Connickson. If you happen to miss 2 tickets for that investing class and the cryptocurrency course, you got to call right now. Call 952 814 4410. That's 952 814 4410. A couple topics on the free cryptocurrency course that you get when you call in right now and register for a class. There's topics like the history of cryptocurrency, 5 steps to using cryptocurrency. So if you want to understand how to use it, also transacting with cryptocurrency. If you're just tuning in, Al was talking about some different techniques and strategies that the institutions are using, the big banks. The great thing about these strategies and techniques, they are also available to us. And these people at Wall Street, they are not rocket scientists. They are not surgeons or any stuff like that. They are just educated about the financial markets. They are everyday people, just like us here in Minneapolis, us here in Minnesota. We are everyday people. The only difference is they have been educated on how to use the financial markets for income potential. So hopefully our listeners understand, hey, I'm also a regular person. I have the potential to learn how to do that, but taking action now to do that before it's too late. And Al, you want to get into another topic about, we talk a lot about Wall Street and the institutions and some of the advice that they're giving to the public. You see things on TV, go do this, go do that. You got our buddy Kramer on TV talking about go buy this stock, go buy that stock. Now, is their advice for us or is it for them? Is it for us or is it against us? I want you to talk about that. What are some of the things that Wall Street is doing that our listeners probably might not really know about?
Well, first of all, I ended that last segment by saying that there was something that Wall Street admits that might be the most important component of your being successful, and that's really the income component of it. Most people, if you are trying to work with an advisor that has been around for a while and has had some experience, they may want a minimum of $250,000 or $500,000 for you to work with them.
Yeah, that's just to talk to them.
That's just to
Don't
talk
even
to
call
them.
us, basically.
Yeah, but what they're assuming is that you have already created some wealth. You've already kind of built up the income portion to build that wealth up. Then they're willing to take your wealth and sell you a product or put you in something to invest at. So that by kind of bypassing the income component, they're really, I think most investors are in a situation where they can't build wealth because a lot of people, regardless of what they do for a living, regardless how much money they make, are basically living paycheck to paycheck. And it can be people that are in the 6-figure income, because when your income goes up, your standard of living, your cost of living goes up with it. So a lot of people are struggling to have enough money left over to put into the retirement accounts, to put into that wealth bucket. But, if you have short-term cash needs for whatever it might be, maybe it's just to buy a new car or to take a nice vacation. That's not something that you can look at getting from a portfolio that is intended to be held for 10 or 20 years,
Yep.
which is what most people are put into by Wall Street advisors.
That's a great point, Al. Most advisors won't even take a call from you or take an email or even think about you until you have $250,000 or $500,000 in a retirement account. Well, so they are relying on you to build that on your own.
Well, that's right.
That is why you need to understand the skills on how to do that yourself. Learn the skills how to have the income potential to build that wealth. And then who knows, maybe you don't even need an advisor. Manage that yourself. Do that because who's going to be the best steward of your money? It's going to be
That's
you.
for you. Yeah.
But how do people learn though? I
Yeah.
mean, do people? Can you learn out of a book, or can you learn off of the University of YouTube? Is that possible?
Well, you can get some knowledge by reading books. You can get some knowledge by looking at YouTube or doing a webinar or seminar. But the real component that you need to be successful is how to use that knowledge, when to use it, how to use it, whether you should use it. And that comes from skill building that you're not getting from those sources that you just mentioned. We talked in that first section about the difference between Wall Street's success, their returns, and the returns of the novice trader, the retail trader. Well, how do you bridge that gap? And one of the things that Online Trading Academy has done is created a strategy called Core Strategy that is designed to take the main Street retail trader and then bridge the gap to Wall Street investors. So again, we want you to be able to understand what they're doing. Why does price change? What causes price to change? Who causes it to change? And how can you just kind of piggyback off of those people? Well, it's the Wall Street people, it's the pros, it's the people with a lot of money that have enough clout dollar-wise to move the price of something. And all of the pros out there will tell you that they are successful because they know how to get into something and out of it at the turn in price. Not somewhere in the middle of a trend or near the end of a trend, but that the turn in price. So how can you do the same thing? How can you identify when that's happening? Again, it gets back to Wall Street is telling us that because to be honest with you, with the amount of money they have, they can cause that to happen. They can cause something to stop going down and start going up, whether it's an individual asset or the markets in general. It really gets down to the law of supply and demand. And in the financial markets, just substitute buyers for demand and sellers for supply. When there's more buyers for something, price is going to go up. When there's more sellers, price will go down. That's an economic law. And if you can identify when there is an imbalance, when the demand increases and exceeds the supply, that's a great time to buy. That's typically when the price turns, which is the point at which you can have the highest quality trade you can make, lowest risk, highest potential profit, and the highest probability of it working in your favor.
Yeah, and you can't learn that out of a book. You have to build those skills. I mean, Al, you have, I'm assuming you have a car, right? You drove here today.
I do have a car.
Did you learn how to drive a car out of a book?
No, I had to read a book to get my license, but I did not learn how to drive out of a book.
Exactly. And you know I like to golf, right? Do you think I learned how to golf off of YouTube or a book?
Not well.
Heck no, I took lessons, right?
Sure.
I took lessons from a professional that knew what they were doing, knew the right skills to teach, because it's not about just practicing. It's about practicing right.
Correct.
And if you don't know how to do that, I mean, you can't learn that out of YouTube. You can't learn that out of a book. And that's unfortunately, Al, where most people go for education, is they go to something that's free. Well, if it's free, does it really mean anything, right? You go to college because there's a value there to learn different things. But if you're going to be in construction, you can learn how to read a blueprint, but you're not going to be able to learn how to saw correctly, how to cut angles properly. You can talk about it, but you have to build the skills, and you have to learn that from professionals. And Online Trading Academy has professional instructors that teach people the skills to trade and invest. A lot of our instructors that came from the floors of the exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, Board of Options, and they're the ones that have the experience and teach hands-on how to do that. And I always ask people that come to these investing classes that we do here in Bloomington why are you here? Like, what were you searching for? And they're like, I was searching for something that was physical, a place where I could go to learn the skills and techniques about trading and investing. And as Al was talking about, you're going to have your best interest. I mean, if you have capital in the market, learn the techniques right now, because we had a great opportunity in the last couple of weeks as the markets dropped. Most people that are just buying and holding or hoping have lost a lot of money in the last few weeks here. Is it going to continue? Who knows? But when you have a plan, you plan your trade and execute that properly, it doesn't matter what it's doing. It brings more comfort to that. If you want to learn more about that, if you want to learn how to build the skills, Al teaches investing classes right here in Bloomington. Text the word invest to the number 484848 for 2 tickets for the investing class. When you do that, we're going to send you a text back. You have to click the link that we send back to you and pick a date for the investing class. When you do that, you're going to receive a cryptocurrency foundations course, or you can call 952-814-4410. Now, we talk a lot about retirement plans and different things like that, but more and more people, like as you said, there's more, 10 million brokerage accounts?
10 million new brokerage accounts.
Which means there is millions of people getting into the market that are trying to wrap their arms around their money, but they're doing that without the skills and techniques and concepts. But they don't understand, especially in their retirement accounts, which they don't want to touch sometimes because they don't feel comfortable. They're losing a lot of money in fees. What are some things you can do to eliminate fees in retirement accounts?
Well, the fees are being paid to somebody for supposedly managing your assets. So if you self-direct something, if you set up a self-directed retirement account, or if you have an investment portfolio and you are controlling the decisions made in there, you don't have to pay any fees. There's no management fee there because you're managing it. And then also the cost of doing trades now, I think a lot of people still are under the impression that it's really expensive to trade.
You know what's expensive? To leave your money to a stranger.
Right, or to not do anything at all.
Yeah.
But it's the most of the firms now have zero commissions for stock trading. The cost of doing trades in other assets that we haven't talked about yet, but the foreign exchange market, the futures market, the options market, it's almost non-existent. It really has very little impact on the trades or investments that you make. So cutting out the fees, though, is probably the number one way to increase the rate of return that you could have on an investment account. In your retirement accounts, and we always talk about this in these classes, Josh, about the actual cost involved in a 401k, for example, or a 403b. And I think it's very shocking to most people. They don't understand, and they just accept the fact that, well, but somebody's managing my money. I've got to pay them something. Well, think about it. In your 401k, how many phone calls or how many meetings do you have with the sponsor that put that plan together? How much advice are you getting? Because the bottom line, the truth is you're not getting any or very little, if anything. So you're making your own decisions, yet you're paying somebody for the right to do that. Most of our students, at some point in time, will set up a self-directed retirement account. You can do that in addition to having your 401k, or when you retire or when you leave a company for any reason, you can roll that into an IRA.
That's a good point.
You eliminate the fees. And the other great thing is that you are now no longer are in a type of an investment where you have to be directional. In other words, in your 401k, 403bs, there's only one direction that's going to benefit you, and that's when the market is going up. In a self-directed account, you can participate in all three directions, and then also you can use what we call leveraged assets. And this is one of the reasons that the pros do so much better, Wall Street does so much better than the retail traders, is because they're using these leveraged assets. They are maximizing the investment power, the investment clout of every dollar that they have. And it's the same thing you can do. It's just they're not teaching you about it. You're not getting educated on it. Even if you take a class, maybe you're probably not in your high school or college because very few of them do that. But if you even listen to a webinar or seminar, it's probably going to be on only one subject, not a number of different areas. And remember, everybody is different. Everyone is unique. And even what you need today may be different than what you need tomorrow. So the Online Trading Academy, I think one of the biggest advantages is that it is uniquely structured to meet you where you are now and help you get to where you want to go, regardless of what it is for you.
And the great thing that you brought up there about 401ks, if somebody had an old 401k, I mean, even the past couple of years, I'm sure a lot of our listeners have changed jobs, and they have 401ks with their previous employer just sitting there at risk to the market.
That's correct.
If you feel like you have money in the market at a 401k with an old employer, take control of that.
Yeah.
Protect it. I mean, you're going to be the best steward over your money, but a lot of people, they just don't have enough. So what do? You have to do things differently. Learn things differently, learn the skills to manage it yourself, eliminate fees, and be the best steward of your money. Learn how to do that with professional instructors that know how to manage portfolios, that know how to trade and invest, because, a lot of, as I mentioned earlier, have came from the floors of the exchange, New York Stock Exchange, all that. It's part of that community that we have at Online Trading Academy. So I want to give away some tickets to an investing class right here in Bloomington. They're free. They're 2 hours. Al teaches these. Call 952-814-4410. In these classes, we talk about how to manage risk and navigate these volatile markets, how to time the market. We haven't talked about that yet, by letting price come to you. But our step-by-step, rules-based strategy for trading any asset in any market. Call 952-814-4410. When you call now, you're going to receive a cryptocurrency foundations course. That's the hot topic. That's what everybody is talking about. Don't miss this phenomenon. So get that cryptocurrency course. You can also text the word invest to the number 484848. You'll receive a link back. You can also get a call from us right away to register for that class and that crypto course. Al, what's next?
Well, let's talk about what do investing and taking a family trip have in common.
That's kind of interesting. Family trips and investing. Let's talk about that coming up next. 952-814-4410 for 2 tickets for the investing class. This is Josh and Al, Investing with Confidence. We'll be right back.